Hey, I want to do a quick probability problem with the presidential election and NFL football. So this was, I don't know what date this was. This poll was taken, but it was from a pretty reputable source. And at the time, they said that right here, Hillary was ahead by quite a lot. So I'm going to use these percentages, and I'm just going to round them. So I'm going to say that Hillary is at 71% and Donald is at 29%, okay, at that time. And I'm also going to go with the raters. So how were the raters doing? Or actually, how were they predicted to do? So this was early in the season, and I think the highest rated team, and there was a couple of them, but like the Patriots were pretty high, and they had about a 13% chance of winning the Super Bowl. This was at the very beginning of the season, and they gave the Raiders a 3% chance. So the Raiders were at 3%, which translates as a decimal as a 0.03 right there. So let's do a comparison. How about this? Let's compare what's the probability that at this time Donald Trump wins the presidency and the Raiders win the Super Bowl. Okay, so let's map that out. Let me go to this next slide. Okay, so here's our situation. And don't forget, we are thinking about who wins, right? Who wins the Super Bowl and who wins the presidential election. Now, let's do an area model. And we kind of draw it like this. And remember, these statistics are from a while ago. I think it was the beginning of the football season. And let's see, Hillary, I said, was at a 0.71 probability, and Donald Trump was at 29%, or 0.29 when we talk about probability. And the Raiders were at a 3% chance that they would win the Super Bowl versus a 97% chance that it was some other team. So I'm going to multiply all those probabilities out and see what we come up with. So here's our result. And look, we're interested in the Raiders and Donald Trump both winning. And look, 0.0087, so that's almost 1%. In fact, it's less than a 1% chance, 1 out of 100. So anyway, we know what the result was. Donald Trump did win, and we're not sure about the Raiders yet. Time will tell, but they are having a pretty decent season so far. So, very interesting to see how things will play out. Now, there was something that came up at the end of class, and it's a little bit tricky, so let me talk about this. What if we consider an or situation, meaning what would be the probability that Hillary wins or some other team wins the Super Bowl? Now, so if we take the 71% chance and the 97% chance, well, if we add them together, that's way bigger than 100%. So what do we do with that? Well, what you do is you want to consider the fact that one or the other thing happens, but you don't want to count the fact that they both happen, because then you're counting the win here, right? Hillary wins, and you count it again if they both win. So what you have to do, and I know it's kind of tricky, is you would say, well, for an or situation is, you say the 0.71, right, plus the 0.97 minus the fact that they both happen, because it's called double counting. You don't want to count them twice. You don't want to count them once for the win and when they both win, right? So anyway, I know that's a little bit confusing, but that's just a good thing to remember for an or. This happens, or this happens, and then you subtract the fact that they both happened. Okay, let me find out what the result of that is. Just a second. So that was, the result of that is, wow, it's very high. 99% chance that one or the other happens. Okay. Now, I don't know if that's a sure thing, because we can't really say, since Hillary did not win the election, then there's then the Raiders are a lock. But anyway, that's where we're at with this thing. So don't forget this, and we'll do a few problems next time I see you to try to review that. Okay, I hope you're having a great weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow or Tuesday, depending. Oh, actually, I don't see you until Tuesday. So anyway, see you then. Bye. So here we have our trusty